the emperor who became a footstool.
A man kneeling, hands chained, back bent. Another man walks toward him, places his foot on the prisoner's back, steps up, mounts his horse. The kneeling man is not a slave, not a common prisoner of war. He is the emperor of Rome, and he just became a human footstool. Year 260 AD, Ctesiphon, capital of Persia. Publius Licinius Valerianus, known as Valerian, was emperor of the greatest empire in the world. He commanded 30 legions, governed 50 million people. For 7 years, he held Rome together while everything around him collapsed. But now, Valerian is kneeling on Persian stone floor, chained, displayed as a trophy. Shapur, king of Persia, uses his body as a footstool every time he mounts his horse. The emperor of Rome became furniture. How did this happen? It wasn't a lost battle. It wasn't betrayal by generals. It was something simpler and more devastating. It was a mistake, a decision, a moment when Valerian still believed he had control, when he no longer did. The emperor who reformed Rome, 253 AD. Valerian takes power. The empire is bleeding. In the last 50 years, emperors die in months. Gordian I and Gordian II, 21 days. Decius, 2 years, killed by Goths. Trebonianus Gallus, 2 years, assassinated. Aemilianus, 3 months, executed. The Roman throne became an electric chair. Porous borders. Germans invade across the Rhine. Goths attack the Balkans. Persians push in the east. Valerian is different. 60 years old, decades of experience, respected in the Senate, commanded legions, governed provinces. And he understands something the others didn't. Rome cannot keep doing what it's always done. He creates elite mobile cavalry, the comitatus, fast strike force that crushes invaders when they're too loaded to flee. He promotes by merit, not lineage. Senators complain, Valerian ignores them. He divides the empire in practice. He stays in the east. His son Gallienus governs the west. It works. From 253 to 260, Valerian rules for 7 years. In the 3rd century, that's an eternity. But while he reforms, in the east a threat is growing. Shapur, king of Persia. And he doesn't just want to defeat Rome, he wants to humiliate it. The trap. In 256, Shapur invades, takes Antioch, 3rd largest city in the empire, doesn't sack and leave, occupies, governs. Valerian marches, reconquers Antioch, pushes Shapur back. But it's a war of attrition. Each campaign drains resources, men, gold, time. Shapur isn't trying to win all at once. He's exhausting Rome. And in 260, something worse than war appears. Plague, smallpox, maybe typhus, something that spreads fast in military camps. Valerian's army is dying from within, and Shapur knows it. So he offers something unexpected, negotiation. Valerian hesitates. Negotiating is admitting weakness, but continuing to fight with a sick army is suicide. He decides to accept. And here begins the mistake. Because Valerian still believes in Roman rules. Face-to-face negotiation, meeting between leaders. That's how Rome always did it. But Shapur is not a tribal leader who respects Roman traditions. He is the king of a rival empire, and he has no interest in Roman rules. The decision. Year 260. Spring. Near Edessa. The Roman camp is silent. Too silent. Armies make noise. Soldiers talk, train, fight. But this army is quiet. Quiet like a hospital. Because that's what it became. A mobile hospital. Tents full of feverish men. Sweat, vomit, bodies burning from the inside. The plague spread fast. Started with a few soldiers, then dozens, then hundreds. Now, a third of the army is too sick to fight. Those still standing aren't well, weak, hungry, morale on the ground. They know they can't win a battle in this state, and they know Shapur knows it. Valerian walks through the camp, sees the faces, sees the silent despair. These men marched for years, crossed deserts, fought in brutal sieges, survived ambushes, and now they're dying of disease. He can't fight like this. But he also can't retreat. Retreating is admitting defeat. It's handing Mesopotamia to Shapur. It's showing weakness to the rest of the empire. There are already usurpers circling, ambitious generals waiting for the right moment to rebel. If Valerian retreats now, someone will proclaim he's weak and will try to take the throne. There's no good way out. So when Shapur sends messengers offering negotiation, Valerian listens. The message is simple. Let's talk, face to face. No armies, just the two of us. We can avoid more deaths. Is it a trap? Probably. But what's the alternative? Fight with a sick army? Retreat and lose everything? Valerian summons his officers. Debates. Some say it's madness, that Shapur can't be trusted, that Persians don't respect Roman truces. Others say it's the only chance, that maybe Shapur is also tired of war, that maybe they can negotiate peace, even if temporary. Valerian decides. The capture. He goes to meet Shapur personally. He doesn't bring an army, just his personal guard, a few officers. He walks to the Persian camp. He's received with formality. Torches, standards, guards lined up. Shapur is waiting, seated. He doesn't stand when Valerian enters. They begin to talk, and at some point, Valerian realizes he's made a mistake. Maybe when Persian guards closed the exits. Maybe when Shapur signaled and soldiers entered the tent. Maybe when his own troops outside were disarmed without resistance. Or maybe when Shapur smiled. There is no negotiation. There never was. This was always a capture. Valerian tries to protest, says he's the emperor of Rome, that violating a truce is a crime against all laws. Shapur doesn't care, because Valerian stopped being emperor the moment he entered that tent. Now he's a prisoner. Outside, the Roman army, upon discovering the emperor has been captured, disintegrates. Sick, confused, betrayed soldiers simply flee. Others surrender. In hours, the Roman army ceases to exist as an organized force. Shapur won without a battle. The Human Footstool. The news takes weeks to reach Rome. When it arrives, the Senate panics. Gallienus sends messengers offering ransom, gold, territories, whatever is necessary. Shapur refuses. He doesn't want gold. He wants a symbol. Rome debates for weeks. In the end, pride wins over pragmatism. Rome doesn't pay. Valerian stays in Persia. Initially, he's in guarded residence. Shapur still hopes Rome will change its mind. Months pass. Nothing. Shapur understands Rome won't pay. If Valerian isn't worth gold, he's worth propaganda. He begins to exhibit him publicly, at Persian festivals, at military celebrations. He brings Valerian in chains, dressed in rags. This is the Emperor of Rome. The crowds laugh, spit, shout insults. Valerian doesn't react. He's learned that reacting makes it worse, but it doesn't end, because Shapur invents a new use for him: Human Footstool. Every time Shapur goes to mount his horse, he calls Valerian, orders him to kneel, and then steps on his back. He uses the body of the Roman emperor as a footstool to mount his horse. It's ritual, public, deliberate. Persian officials watch. Foreign ambassadors watch. Everyone who visits the Persian court sees the Emperor of Rome being used as furniture. The message is clear. Rome is no longer invincible. Rome can be humiliated, literally. Valerian lives like this for years, maybe 3, maybe 5, maybe more. He ages, gets weak, sick. And when he finally dies, we don't know how. Suicide, disease, execution. Shapur has one last humiliation reserved. He doesn't return the body. He orders Valerian's skin to be flayed, dyed red, stuffed with straw, and then hangs the skin in a Persian temple. Trophy. For decades, temple visitors can see the Roman emperor's skin hanging as decoration. Permanent reminder. Rome bleeds. Rome loses. Rome can be defeated. Rome never recovers the body. Valerian never has a funeral. Never receives the honors due to emperors. He becomes a horror legend. The Precedent. While Valerian withers in Persia, Rome disintegrates. The news of the capture spreads, and with it, a devastating perception. Rome can no longer protect even its own emperor. Provincial governors stop sending taxes. Generals stop obeying orders. Usurpers appear. Postumus, a general on the Rhine, declares independence, creates the Gallic Empire. 1/3 of the Roman Empire separates. In the east, Palmyra, ruled by Zenobia, conquers Syria, Egypt, Asia Minor, becomes its own empire. In less than a decade, Rome loses half its territory. Gallienus governs only the center, Italy, the Balkans, North Africa. Valerian's reforms weren't enough. They delayed the collapse, bought time, but they didn't save Rome, because the problem wasn't just military, it was systemic. Valerian tried, more than others, he really innovated, but innovation without time is useless, and he ran out of time. Captured, humiliated, transformed into a human footstool, and his skin, dyed red, hanging in a Persian temple, became the perfect symbol of the 3rd century. An empire that looks whole from afar, but is already being flayed. Valerian wasn't the first emperor to die in combat. Decius died fighting Goths, but Decius died with sword in hand. Valerian died as a prisoner. He was the first Roman emperor captured alive, the first used as a human footstool, the first whose skin was flayed and displayed as a trophy. He established a terrible precedent. Roman emperors are not untouchable. Roman invincibility, the idea that Rome always wins, always survives, died with Valerian. Because if the emperor can become a human footstool, then Rome can fall. And eventually, it does. Not in 260, but the process begins there. His skin, hanging in a Persian temple, was a reminder. Rome bleeds. And when an empire starts bleeding, it doesn't stop. Valerian reformed Rome, ruled for 7 years, innovated where others copied, and died kneeling. Because in the end, power is an illusion, control is an illusion, and those who believe too much in the illusion pay. Valerian paid with his skin. Valerian lost everything because he believed he still had control. Alexander the Great lost everything for the same reason. He conquered the greatest empire the world had ever seen, defeated Persians, Egyptians, Indians. At 30, there was nothing left to conquer. And then he started destroying himself from within. Paranoia, alcohol, executions of friends. When he died, his empire crumbled in weeks. Everything he built, lost. The man who conquered the world lost himself. Alexander the Great kills his best friend and loses himself. You can find the link on screen now and in the first pinned comment. If you want to keep watching stories about the exact moment everything collapses, subscribe to the channel and share it with people who think about these things too. Leave your comment down below. See you in the next video.